Well, good evening. Most of you probably know me. I'm Phil, the CEO of the Travel Village Group, and representing our fantastic river cruising business, rivercruising.co.uk. And tonight, it is great. We have our Which recommended, and I think it's the last 9 years. I think Riviera Travel, in some capacity, have been helping the Which recommendation, which is fabulous. Tom Morgan.
Good to see you, Phil. How are you?
I'm great, to be honest with you. I'm still trying to get my head around everything that's happening with Boris and his warriors and this global task force. What we can do, what we can't do, when we can do it. But apart from that, I'm fine. You know, I've had quite an interesting day in the office today with the troops, and just sorting through everything and talking to our customers and reassuring them. So it's been another busy day, and another day where we are one step closer to getting people some travel tickets. I mean, whatever they are.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, definitely. How's things been at Riviera?
Yeah, good. You know, it's been same as everyone. You know, an interesting last 12 months or so. But you know, we've been trying our hardest. You know, making it as easy as possible for customers to transfer over where holidays have been cancelled. So yeah, it's been good. We're sort of geared up, ready to get going as soon as Boris gives us the thumbs up. So we're sort of ready to get back in the water. And yeah, hopefully that's sooner rather than later.
Indeed. Well, you've got, what is it, 13 ships, maybe 14, but 13 ships sat there and desperate to get looking after all these fantastic customers.
Exactly. So yeah, can't wait to get started again.
And actually a really modern fleet as well, isn't it? You know, I mean, most of the ship, I think 9 of the 10, 11 of some, probably since the last 4.5 years, they've been brought on board.
Yeah, so most of the fleet's been brought on since 2017. You know, yeah. They're fully 5-star fleet, so you know it's really modern. It's one of the more modern fleets, certainly cruising in Europe at the moment. So you know, like you say, 13 ships doing 21 itineraries. So it's a real nice mix for customers as well. You know, we've got everything from short 5-day cruises, doing like your Christmas markets. Which have proven very popular for customers to book for December. I think it's a little bit of that, people feel like they didn't really get the Christmas they wanted last year, booking for next year, right through to sort of, our 2-week itineraries. So it's a nice mix, proven really popular. And I think, same old thing with River Cruise, it's the fact that you get so much included that is the big appeal to customers, so with us, you got your flights, you got your transfers, you got all the excursions as well in there. You got your Wi-Fi because Wi-Fi is, well, especially in the last year, more important than ever before, isn't it? So though at least people, I suppose, if you're on a river cruise, you can not have to sit and watching Netflix or finding things to watch. You can go and explore. Bikes on board, free to use for customers, and because we're a British River Cruise line, most importantly, tea and coffee in all the cabins, which is still a staple. So it's a real nice mix. But like I say, Christmas market's selling really well at the moment. The Danube, the Douro, people are keen to get away. So yeah, things have been pretty good.
I think that point you touched on there, because I know we're going to show a little video in a minute, but that point you touched on about Wi-Fi is, and like you said, on a river ship, because most of the people who'll be watching this hopefully will have been on a river or an ocean ship, certainly. The Wi-Fi situation, they're not watching Netflix on a river, certainly not, but actually they're not just talking to people back home or surfing. What they're doing on a river ship, this is every time I go on a river ship, I see it. They're stood there on the deck and they're showing everybody 360 degrees. Look at this. Look at this castle. Look at this place. Look at this scenery. Look at these vineyards, and look at these locks. I mean, people stood there, watching them go through these massive big lock systems. It actually brings the whole experience to life. And people using Wi-Fi on river ships are using it to just showcase. They go on Facebook Live, aren't they, and everything. Instagram. It's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
No, 100%. I think a great thing we've got on board the ships as well for from this year is everyone in the upper deck cabins and the suites. We're including sort of brand new Samsung mobile phones in the cabin for them to use whilst they're there. It comes with unlimited data. So
Really?
yeah, so when they're off, exploring, go on this Samsung phone. You can find out all the facts and where you want to wander off in your free time. But you can also use it for calling anywhere in the world you want unlimited. If you want to, like, say, Facebook Live as you're going through one of the locks on the Danube or the Douro. On Douro, the locks are about 33-meter drop on some of them.
Yeah.
It's really, really impressive. So they can do that. So it's a new added benefit that we launched last year for 2020. Obviously, didn't quite work out. People experience it, but yeah, no, they're all ready to go. So yeah, upper deck cabins and suites get these Samsung handsets to use in their cabin completely free. But yeah, everyone else, you got the Wi-Fi. You just log on when you get on board, and like you say, you can just use it unlimited. So it's a real nice benefit. But I'm hoping when people are there, it's all about going off and exploring, seeing these wonderful sites that we've not been able to do for the last 12 months. And really get themselves back into travelling and really immersing themselves in what we all enjoy doing, and that is exploring and seeing new sites.
Absolutely, and we're not going to give the Ocean Boys carte blanche, are we? We've got to fight back with our own technology and innovation. And on that note of exploring, shall we crack on and go into that first video, and let's have a quick look, shall we?
I think so.
Brilliant. Well, if that doesn't make you want to travel, after the year we've had, nothing will.
Some good stuff there. I think probably should explain a few of the points in there as well, really.
Yeah.
There's a few things we're doing new as well to sort of help encourage people to get back traveling. One of them's our holiday happiness guarantee. So we're basically saying to all customers, if you come and do one of our river cruises, if you're not entirely happy by the end of day 2, we'll bring you home with a full refund. I don't for a second imagine anyone's ever going to take advantage of this. But if you're new to river cruising, you've always done ocean, you're not really sure it's for you. It's a great little bit of added benefit to know that you're going to be able to come away and feel completely safe. And one thing as well I just want to sort of touch on as well is, we did successfully operate holidays last year. So we actually managed, it wasn't river cruising, but we managed to get 14 tours away to Italy back in September, and we learned a lot from that. So we've put a lot of these safety protocols and processes in place to make sure that customers who travel this year, going into next year, feel completely safe and aren't worried about traveling. So it's just little bits, extra coaches so there's more distance, so people don't worry about that. Dinner time, a bit of extra spacing, and all that good stuff. But yeah, we have actually operated the holidays. So and I was lucky enough to go away to Italy last year, and I could see firsthand us putting these processes in place. Extra hand wash and face masks on the coaches. And it seems small at the time, but I honestly felt completely safe when I was traveling last year. And I certainly can't wait to get traveling again this year, when we can do. So that's one real benefit as well.
Absolutely. One of the things I wanted to touch on that we've always been real ambassadors for in the industry is the solo traveling. And, you're a very good partner of ours in looking after people who travel on their own. They want to travel on their own, have to travel on their own. And you have some real niche benefits, don't you, for solo traveling, Tom?
Yeah, 100%. So on every single cruise we offer a number of cabins on the lower deck with no single supplement whatsoever. I don't think anyone offers as comprehensive range as us. So, if you're a solo traveller, want to book, there's normally about 6 cabins per sailing, which when you think of the percentage of the ship is quite a high amount, and they do sell rather quickly. We also do have 7 itineraries where we actually have dedicated solo cruises as well. So the entire ship, single supplement free, go and join, everyone's a solo traveller on board. It's something really nice to offer. We launched it about 4 years ago now, and it's proven so popular. Originally, it was just one date on the Danube. Like I say, it's extended to multiple dates across 7 itineraries. And one thing also to mention as well, it's not just on the European river cruises. We do actually offer a solo departure on our Nile River cruise as well. So for solo travellers who want to go further afield, they've got that option as well. So it's a great benefit, because the solo travellers, because we've got a number of cabins, not just one cabin. They're not on their own doing it as well. There are solo travellers, if they want, not quite often see them get together and enjoy their time together. And the other thing to really mention as well is those solo cabins, they're not smaller in any way. It's exactly the same size cabin as a twin share. So you're not getting, a single bed in a half-size room or anything like that. You're still getting one-size cabin, double bed, full great experience. So, for solo travelers, we always try and do our best. We don't feel like because you choose or you have to travel on your own, you should be penalised for it. So, we go out of our way to try and make sure it's as fair as possible for them.
And I know, that's one of the things that I've always sort of like winced at when I go and have a look around the ships. And it's that air of expectation that, this cabin here is a solo cabin, as you can see. What do you mean, as I can see? Yeah. It shouldn't be like that. It's great, when I go on and people are starting to, the cruise lines get used to this now, and it's getting much better. There's a lot more to be done, but they're getting better at it. And when I walk on your ships, it's fabulous. And there's lots of things I like about Riviera. I like the flow, the dining room flow. I like the way that you've designed the dining rooms. And people say to me, "Oh, you're a blooming anorak." Well, I am a bit of a river anorak, if truth be known. But it's right. When you walk in, it works so well, and it's just these little things that I pick up on, and that you've got, that you do well, that Skiller have done well, and when they've designed the ships with you.
No, I agree. I think one of the real nice things about the ships as well, apart from the Duro ship, because it's smaller to get through the locks, all the ships have a second restaurant on the back of the ship, and it's genuinely like the best kept secret on board, because it amazes me, that you get, even though we tell everyone about it when they're on board and we make announcements, you quite often get to day 3 of a cruise, you'll be in the restaurant at the rear, the customer walking in going, "Where did this appear from?" And it's like, it's so good because it's got an open kitchen, food's cooked right in front of you. It normally is like lunchtime, it's a bit more of a sort of a light bite type feel. But in the evening, it's really, really good. There'll be like a steak option, something really traditional and local. And then, there'll be some really good vegetarian options, but it's a great place. And because we set out that second restaurant more as table two, if you've got like a birthday and anniversary, and by the way, there's no extra charge for eating in there. It's all included. It's not not why we keep, not why it's best kept secret, but table for two, sitting there, and it's a great way if you're celebrating an anniversary, a birthday, or just want a bit of special time with someone, that go in there and sit there. It's a much quieter. It's only maximum like 24 people at a time, so it's a really nice experience in there. But yeah, the main restaurant is great as well. It's buffet for breakfast and lunch, but the choice is unbelievable. I don't think I've ever got through like a third of this ever on a cruise. And then in the evening, it's a 4-course a la carte. Food is exceptional. The service is brilliant. It's always really good local options. But there's your familiar favourites if you don't want something like that. But goulash when you're in Hungary and schnitzel when you're in Germany and stuff like that. The food is great, top notch. Also, one thing as well, I don't think people realise we do, is we actually do breakfast room service for no extra charge. Now,
I didn't know that.
Well, you've probably never noticed it, Phil, because you have to put your card hanger out before midnight, and you've probably never made that before midnight.
Fair point.
But actually, on all the cabin grades, we actually put a card on, sort of like your do not disturb thing, but you can fill it in. Anything you want, and we'll bring it to the cabin at your time. So especially if you've got like one of these French balcony cabins, you're sailing in the morning, get your croissants and your eggs brought to your room, and just sit and watch the world go by. It's a very nice experience, I can assure you.
Yeah, you talk about watching the world go by. I'll tell you, that is why, and I keep going about it, people don't get it till you've been on a river cruise. That's why you don't find half these places, because when you sit down, you daren't move in case you miss something.
Well, I always think that's why the sun deck is so good on a river ship. Because I do think, I get asked the question a lot, like, which side of the ship should I go on? Because they think you can see more. But I think what happens is you spend a few minutes watching it from your cabin and you see loads and loads, but you're always worried you're missing something on the other side. So everyone goes up to the sun deck and just sits and watches everything. I mean, a great cruise for that, is the Douro. So did the Douro cruise about 3 years ago. Scenery, unbelievable. Like, it's just stunning from start to finish. Absolutely stunning scenery, and it's great because the staff in the bar come and do table service for you, so you can get yourself like a really nice glass of Portuguese wine, sit and just watch as the sailing down these sort of high-sided vineyards through the Douro Valley. And like I say, you've got these locks with over 30-meter drop. It's a really, really good experience. Like, if I was to recommend one cruise for sitting, enjoying and relaxing, the Douro would be the cruise I'd recommend to people.
Mum and Dad said that to me. We sent them off. They went on the Douro 2019. Said it was absolutely fantastic. I've never done it. I've been to Porto, and a fabulous city, by the way. One of the best train stations I've ever been to.
True.
It's beautiful, isn't it? The tiling. If you ever go on the Douro, go to Porto, go and have a look at the train station. It is fantastic. Great place. And go to the fish restaurants. Amazing.
We take all customers to the train station on one of the tours. So part of the tour, we actually go via the train station because, like you say, it is so... It sounds really odd, doesn't it? Go to the train station, really picturesque. Because you sort of think of train stations in the UK on the whole.
Yeah.
Not much about, but yeah.
And actually, you should stay and have a stay there, and actually take the train from Porto and navigate up through Portugal into Spain, because it's just a fantastic journey. Great station, great way to get around. Shall we have a look at Thomas Hardy, one of your ships?
I think we should, Phil.
Well, let's do it. Brilliant. Just getting me tea ordering from Mrs. Nuttall before the England game. You know what? That video is. What's brilliant about that is when I talk to people about river ships, river boats, whatever they choose to call them, vessels or whatever. We all talk all day about that, can't we?
Oh, yeah.
But they cannot believe the space inside, especially in the cabins. You know, they do not expect that level of plushness, that space. The bathrooms are fantastic, you know. And then that video also just showed what I was talking about, the dining room, just how good it is.
Well, that's the thing. I think, you know, if you're a Doctor Who fan, it's like a TARDIS, isn't it, on a river cruise ship? Because from the outside, they quite often look fairly similar. You know, it's a white ship on a river. But when you go inside, you know, the space is fantastic. You know, our French balcony cabins are 17 square meters on majority of the ship. So it's a really good size cabin. And I think the other great thing about river cruise ships is there's no inside cabins either. You've got a view regardless of what cabin you're in, which I know it sounds a really small thing, but for someone who's been in an inside cabin on ocean, it wasn't my cup of tea personally. But no, they're really good. The cabins are fantastic. I do always say to people, I think the cabins are amazing. You're a great experience, but you spend most of your time on a river cruise out and about and exploring, which is always the great thing. But when you're on board, you're comfortable, you're well looked after, which is the main thing. You know, it's a great experience. You know, whether you're in the dining room where it's 5-star service and the food is amazing. That's why most of the ships have it on board for those that feel like they, or you know, or we've got free to use bikes on board, so you know you can go off and cycle and explore a bit more. Cabins are amazing. You get French balcony on your middle and your upper decks, and you know as well, and they're a really great way to you know have a glass of wine as you get ready for dinner. You know, look out, enjoy the view, and then go down to dinner. And then we also have a couple of deluxe balcony cabins on our ship. So, you know, 25 square meters, got a sit-out balcony and a French balcony. Only thing I'd say with them, Phil, is there's only 2 on each ship. They're very, very popular and they sell out very quickly. So if anyone wants to book one of them, you know, you've got a anniversary coming up, you want to do something a bit special, you know, enjoy your enjoy a retirement party or anything like that, I'd book them sooner than later, you know, because one thing with Riviera as well, as you know, is we don't do discounts and sales down the line. We don't do, so if you book early, you don't have to worry that in 6 months someone's going to get it for 20% off. You know, we always make sure that the people who booked early get any deal we do down the line. If we did one, which we virtually never do, we make sure they get it, so you never lose out. So you never sat there at dinner having that conversation, you find out someone's paid 400 quid less than. I think that's always great as well.
Before we talk about just quickly some of the offers that we've got, because we always just finish off on a nice little tempter. Going back to the restaurant, one of the things that I've noticed, and people I've been away with, no, I haven't, because I haven't been away for 12 months. But anyway, people who went, certainly in 2019, I did a few river cruises, and some of the people were vegan.
Yeah.
And it was absolutely shocking. You know, the river cruising food is fantastic. I mean, absolutely out of this world. Vegetarian food, fantastic. They were just, the vegan, they were really struggling, getting to grips with it. And I think, you know, it's really, people now starting to talk about it. Your chefs are really getting to grips. And I think it's something that's going to be quite topical. And I think we're going to see more of this now, aren't we, on the river cruises moving forward, that we're catering more for vegans and be more adventurous in the food that we do and prepare. And, you know, someone was talking to me the other day about cauliflower steaks. You know, making steaks, marinated. I think it was our Dan was telling me, and he was saying, you know, we marinate them, and he's not a vegetarian, but he's marinating them in all this sort of stuff, and then putting them on the pan and pulling them out as steaks with everything. Oh, fantastic! Some of the stuff they're doing.
So I think you're right. I think more people have more dietary requests. I think one thing we're very good at is accommodating for that. So my other half, she's allergic to egg. So, you know,
what?
Allergic to egg.
I wonder what you said then.
Yeah, well, it sounds really silly, but you can't believe how much has egg in it, like everything. But when she comes on, when she comes on a river cruise ship, they can accommodate that and deal with it very, very well. All we say is basically, if you just let us know dietary requirements before you come on board, then we can prepare for it. And one of the great things about river cruise as well is, the food. They're not the biggest ships in the world, so the food is brought on fresh pretty much every single day. So we can cater things later down the line, but if you let us know in advance, like say if you're vegan, vegetarian, you've got a gluten intolerance or egg, we can cater for it. And the choices, you are right, choices are getting much better. I think, when you sort of went to Europe 10 years ago and you said you were vegetarian, people looked at you a bit funny because in France especially, it wasn't well known.
No.
But now you've got a massive plethora of choices, and I think is moving that way as well. I think originally it was probably quite a bit basic a few years ago, but more people are, choosing a meat-free diet, and chefs and stuff keep up with it. So the choices are very, very good for things like that.
Spot on. Well, I won't be inviting your missus round for one of my eggy bread specials then. Oh dear. Listen, tell us about the deal. What's the offer, Tom? Before we finish up, because I've had a great night with you. You're a great friend. You're a great mate. I only do this with my mates anyway. It's brilliant, and I love it. And at the end of the day, what we're talking about is just great life experiences that create memories and stories. So I've had a great evening with you again. And are you going to watch the footy in a minute?
I will do. I was actually saying, I'm hoping it's not a classic England 1-0 against San Marino in like the 90th minute. But
you get good odds on that.
It's been really nice because it's actually nice to talk about travel in a way that it's about, we're getting ready to go again. So, and obviously, rivercruise.co.uk, you guys have been such a supportive partner of ours over the years. It's been fantastic. But, at the moment we've got an offer for anyone who wants to book a river cruise before the end of April, so 30th of April. So basically what we're doing is for any river cruise that is 7 nights in Europe, we're offering €100 onboard spend per person. So you can spend that either getting your drinks or in the shop or a massage. Drinks on board, by the way, really, really reasonable, like €3.50 for a beer. So €100 goes a long way per person. Or if you do a 2-week cruise, we're offering €200 per person. So really nice deal till the end of April.
That's fantastic. Listen, please get yourselves on the website rivercruising.co.uk. It's a lovely little site, and you'll find all the Riviera ships on there, all the itineraries on there, and we're all really hoping, and we know we're going to be sailing at some point this year, and we're all excited about that. And Tom, it's been great to have you with us. I really appreciate it. We've had a bit of a laugh, and we've got the message over, and we've shared some great videos as well. It's been a real pleasure. No, thank you.
No, thanks for having me. It's been great.
Super duper. Right, guys, I'm off. Mrs. Nuttall's got me tea. I'm going to watch the football. It's been lovely to share with you all tonight. Thank you for being part of our family, and have a great evening. And give us a call when you want to book your Riviera river cruises. Thank you.